So welcome everybody to Hellen Ward's 10-point checklist, which is going to really help you and the health of your salon or spa. Good job on choosing to take time out from the show floor and come and see Hellen Ward, because she's phenomenally inspirational, and we absolutely adore her at Professional Beauty and always learn something from every conversation we have with her, even if it's a snatched one. So to spend an hour in this woman's company is a great investment in your business, so well done on choosing to make that decision. I'm going to introduce you briefly to Hellen, but I'm guessing she might have some fans in the audience, because we get more letters about our professional beauty columnist, Hellen Ward, than anything else that we write about ever in professional beauty. And if you don't read her column in this magazine, then you really should. You should be subscribing to it, Stan Q41, and read her Pearls of Wisdom every month, because she's brilliant. She knows all about surviving a recession. She established her business, Richard Ward Hair and Metro Spa, during the last recession. And she was also come very well with a great pedigree, because she was the youngest ever manager of Harrods Hair and Beauty, and is still today the youngest ever manager.
I was 23 when I started running that.
But made a huge success of it.
Yes, did well, learnt a hell of a lot.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's a good start for me.
And also comes with a great deal of knowledge around running businesses and running salons, because she runs L'Oreal's Best Way to Run Your Salon and the Salon Guru. She's been doing those courses for 10 years, where she goes in almost like a Gordon Ramsay, I think, like a kitchen.
It's a bit of a Gordon Ramsay. I don't swear as much as he does.
And the skincare is obviously better than his as well.
I'd like to think so.
But those courses are always oversubscribed. They're the most oversubscribed courses that L'Oreal run, which is a testament to this woman and her incredible imagination and creativity, and also business sense. So you are going to learn a tremendous amount. We're going to have we're going to run through the checklist, but we're going to have a Q&A session at the end. Also, the 10 points that we're going to talk about, we have actually got a handout of what those 10 bullet points are, so you don't need to furiously scribble. But do make sure that you make use of Hellen being here and ask lots of questions at the end, because she's an absolute genius and has godlike status in our eyes.
What a build-up. I'm only going to disappoint you, aren't I?
No pressure. Okay, so if everyone's ready, then we'll start. So your first thing that you put on your list is who is your market, your target client, and do you survey your customers and listen to their feedback? So tell us about how you do that at Richard Ward.
Well, I think the very hard thing to do is to try and think what your client wants and not what you want. And that's something I've really had to learn, is that the client's voice is the only voice that you should hear. So it can't be about what you'd like your spa to look like or the sort of music you want played. It's always about what the client wants. And sometimes I get quite shocked, because I run my course, as you say, 3 or 4 times a year. And the first point I always start with is, who is your target client? And sometimes we don't actually take a stand back to try and work that through. And if you don't do that, then everything else goes wrong for me. You know, everything that you're trying to build up about your brand should be about who your client is and what she wants.
So have you seen, over the course of time, have you seen kind of disastrous salons who've got it wrong? What kind of things?
Disastrous salon. I got called to this one once in Southfields. The wife had been doing, I think it was mainly hair she was doing there, but she, doing extremely well on her own for about 10 years. The husband gave up work, and he'd come straight out of sort of art school, and sort of said, right, I want to help you run this thing now, and I think we should rebrand it. And did this sort of weird, sort of baked bean tinny, sort of very, very young leaflets, signing outside, and I walked in, and there was an old dear with 2 hairs and a knit sat under the hairdryer, who was just bemused by this rap stuff that was being played and these baked bin tins. And, you can get it so wrong. And his one mistake was to sort of think, this is what I want it to be, not this is what it is. This is who the client is. So, I mean, that's always the first place that I start. And to ask your clients what they want. We sort of tend to guess, and we just say, oh, I wonder if they'd like to do that, or I wonder if they'd like to do this. But, the best way is just to ask them.
So how do you do that practically? How do you ask them before you introduce treatment?
We always get them to sort of fill things in. So when they sit in the bar and they wait to go through, we sort of say, if we were to do this, would you buy it? Would you use it? And, you know, please say. I mean, when the I mustn't get on my rant about the charge for our zone, the congestion charge, but when that came in, I mean, it really did harm us. So we had to think for a time, would we want to trade on Sundays? I mean, I really didn't want to, and none of the staff did. So we thought, you know, well, if that's a day where they don't have to pay this fee to drive in, then, you know, perhaps it's a... Anyway, we asked the clients, 90% of them said they wouldn't come in. So it was great, deal done. We've asked our clients, they wouldn't use the spa, so that was great.
So
time in bed on a Sunday, lie in.
Fantastic, we all need that, definitely in this industry. I'm sure they'd all agree. They worked on a Sunday, they come to the show.
Oh.
So how responsive is your customer base? Do you have to work at getting those responses from them? What do you do to kind of incentivize them?
I think we do, and I think you can't ask them to, you know, to sort of help you unless you give them some sort of something back. So we would say, if you were to fill in this form, you can go into a prize draw and win a, you know, a sort of free, I don't know what, at the spa. And it was great because, you know, they were just so keen to let us know their thoughts, which was fantastic.
Oh, that's good. So the next point I'm going to move on to is about monitoring the competition and experiencing their services. So I know that you do this a lot personally. So tell the audience how you physically do this. I
like to go and have my hair done when I can. If you're sort of beginning to get a bit known, which I am now, it gets quite hard. But I send in my best friend, I send my girlfriends, you know, to basically see what's going on. And I think that's something you have to do all the time. And again, when I teach my course, one of the first things I say is, when did you last go and have your hair done somewhere else? Have your nails done somewhere else? Have your legs waxed somewhere? Where do your clients go if they leave you? And that's the place that you need to go and see what they're doing, either right or wrong, so that you can then come back and change things. But it's amazing. You know, we are so terrible in our trade at being clients. I mean, we just don't. We tend to just stick in our own worlds and we don't go outside. And, you know, if you said to a chef, have you been to, you know, there's this fantastic new chef and he's just got a new place down the road. Any good chef would go straight there, have a meal, find out what's going on. Yet we don't do it, and I don't know why we don't.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's a really good point. Have you learned anything that you've implemented in your salon as a result of going mystery shopping?
Absolutely, I learn things all the time. I mean, one of the things I learned by going to a spa not so long ago was something that they did, which I just thought was fantastic. On the front desk, they actually had a sign saying, "These are the slots we've got free today." It was just really nicely done, just a discreet sign. So all the clients that were there said, "Oh, right, 11 o'clock, yeah, oh, brilliant, can I take that slot?" Just a really good way just to fill up some time. And I took that straight away. I mean, I will not beat around the bush. I just took that back to the salon, and the next day we were doing exactly the same thing.
I noticed that when I was in your salon last week.
Caught, you see, red-handed.
Yeah, you were. I didn't notice you'd done that. It's a good idea. And what bad things have you seen, particularly on the beauty therapy side when you've been mystery shopping?
Just fundamental things that, you know, I don't know, you can lie on the couch and they don't ask if the room's warm enough, cool enough. Once a beauty therapist hadn't washed her hands, you know, before starting a treatment, and believe you me, I don't know where they'd been, but they didn't smell very nice, and, you know, they were straight on my face. Just fundamental, like washing your hands in front of the client so the client knows you've got clean hands. Just stupid things that are so basic. And, you know, I think one of the things that I bang on about to my poor old team, who just absolutely lose the will to live when I go on about this one, is just to say it's consultation, all the time consulting really well before the treatment begins. You cannot ask too many questions. You just have to get your complete background right before the treatment starts. You know, and then not to miss the cues. All these cues that, you know, the client gives you. Oh, yeah, my scalp's a bit dry. Oh, okay, lovely. Right, do you want your hair like this today? It happens all the time, but, you know, she's just told you something and you've missed it.